Today, digital downloads make up 35% of music consumption. At this rate, digital music sales will surpass CDs as soon as 2012. The face of music is constantly changing, but there is still a small group of people who swear by vinyl records. We set out to meet a few of these people and ask them why. Our journey first took us to the doorstep of a 20-year-old bassist living in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
My name's Ed McNulty.
And how long have you been collecting records?
Going on, or a little over 3 years, I guess. Mm-hmm. Well, I started just because I saw one album I really wanted to buy, and then I slowly got more and more interested. Mm-hmm. And now I just keep going because, it's a great way to support bands and more independent labels. Mm-hmm. Well, one of my favorite records is probably this one. It's my best friend's playing a band called Sprainerd, and this is their first full length. It's a test press of their record. When records are sent away to be pressed, they you send in the audio, and then you get back X number of test presses, usually less than 10. Mm-hmm. In this case, it was 5. And then you listen through this because audio is first. I'm sure you're gonna explain how they're all made, but they're first etched into a wax graph, and that's coated in metal, and then the metals are what stamp out the wax. And so these are the first few presses, and then you listen to them, you make sure everything's all right, and then you send it back in. And if it's good to go, then they'll start with the actual production of the record. Mm-hmm. So test presses are really rare for people to collect. A lot of people are nerd out about them, and they go for thousands on eBay.
I'm Ben Barsh. I'm 16 years old, and I'm a record collector. I actually kind of reclaimed about 40 of my dad's records from a basement that he left untouched for a number of years, and I'm not really positive as to why I decided to recover them, but I did, and here I am. My favorite record?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple. Black Flag's Damaged, the Beatles' White Album, Funhouse by the Stooges. I'm guessing a lot of people will tell you that this is their favorite record. It's rock and roll taken to its maximum, you know? It's just none of this genre bullshit. This came out in 1970, and almost no one cared, which sucks because it's an amazing record. It's it's more powerful. It's everything you want from a rock and roll record. Makes you want to fight and fuck. I mean, I can go to the record store and buy Lady Gaga's album one night.
Really?
Not that I would.
Yeah. That's pretty impressive, though. I didn't know they were doing that.
I don't listen to Lady Gaga.
But you could.
The surge of interest in vinyl records is certainly benefiting local record stores throughout the city. Vinyl sales nationwide topped 2.5 million in 2009, a 33% increase from 2008.
Yeah, a lot more recently, there's been kind of the surge of vinyl through major labels and, bigger acts. And it's easier for them because they can put out thousands at a time, and then it costs much less for them. If you're putting it out yourself, it's a lot of money you have to put out on your own. But, I definitely think there's more novelty to it. If you play a show and you have vinyl as opposed to just CDs. A lot of people who seriously collect records get into more limited pressings, so you can go find them on eBay for $30-$40 for one LP. But But I mean, if you're paying $10 for a record, I mean, you can buy CDs in stores for $15, $16 of, major labels, when in reality they cost, 50, 60 cents to make.
I mean, records have never died. I mean, it's become kind of more popular within the younger generation, older than me, but still, I guess I'd say people from age, 20 to 30. It's become a little bit more popular. But records have never been dead, really. It's always kind of been the preferred medium of people who are serious into music.
Me and the devil walking side by side. Me and the devil.
I collect records because, well, there's a few reasons, but mainly that it's sort of like, it works as an interesting ritual of sorts. You've got this thing that is too big to fit in your pocket. You put it in a specific place in your house, and that is the place where you go, and that's like the time to listen to music. And since there's only a few tracks on each side of a record, that also brings you into the involvement of being involved with the music, and it creates an experience basically.
I collect records just because it's a much more personal form of music. Bands usually design different artwork for LP sleeves and the layout artwork.
In my high school years and stuff, like, I was a huge collector of CDs, and now most of my collection is either like lost or damaged, and CDs are just like, you can scratch them, you can break them so easily, and I just kind of got over it. I didn't see the point in that anymore. And especially since so many labels are doing it now, if you buy a new record, you can download all the content for free. I can then put that on my computer and burn my own CD of it. I don't necessarily need to buy, and like I said, since if there's no need for me to buy the CD for the artwork, because if I buy the record, it's bigger and better and sounds better, and it's just kind of better all around, really.
I don't not use digital downloads, but I don't. That's like, to me, almost like a preview. Like, I don't feel like I don't own that music. The music doesn't feel like mine, and it doesn't. And when I listen to it, I feel like something's missing.
It's a much more personal experience listening to a record as opposed to clicking on iTunes, and it kind of gives it a bigger impact. People always give me crap because for someone who's so into records, I have such a crappy record player. I got it from my high school. And it works great. I think it's from like the 60s or 70s or something. But it sounds good. I'll put some bit on for you guys.
My parents had an old turntable in their basement. I went to the local thrift store and bought a used receiver for like $10, and then found speakers in the trash. So I had a whole setup without spending very much money at all. And I think that's one of the really key elements to the whole vinyl coming back thing. Is the fact of the matter is, people are broke.
I've probably spent close to $10,000 on records. I don't have a car because of records. I barely have any money in my pocket right now because of records. I have $17, and I'm gonna go fill my mom's car up with gas to get to work, and then I'm done. I mean, if I wanted to, I've got records. I could sell 6 or 7 records from my collection over there, and probably have enough money to buy a car. But I never do that ever, because they're important to me. Every single record I own, almost, except for the Barbra Streisand, those come from my mother. Every single record I own has an importance to me. And it really can take you back to a time and a place, My parents always asked, wouldn't you rather have a car, But I wouldn't. To me, I feel the most, happy at home, and I feel right when I'm listening to an LP.